Folks, we're talking South Africa versus Afghanistan, which played today in Karachi, and yesterday's match with Bangladesh and India in Dubai. I apologize for no video yesterday due to unfortunate circumstances on my side. But nevertheless, hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. You're watching Tyra Ordine, aka the Cricket Star Boys YouTube channel, where I review everything, all cricket, and also post a lot of old game shows. But we're not talking game shows today. We're talking about the ICC Champions Trophy that is happening currently in Pakistan and the United Arab Emirates. We're talking about Afghanistan's first ever Champions Trophy game against South Africa today that took place at the National Stadium in Karachi, and that is where Rickelton's sizzling maiden ODI century has powered the inaugural winners South Africa to a comprehensive winning start to the ICC Champions Trophy campaign by easily defeating Afghanistan by 107 runs at the National Stadium in Karachi. Now, this is the second match in the space of 3 days that Karachi is hosting a one-day Champions Trophy game. And I gotta be honest, for Afghanistan to be playing an international game in Pakistan for the first time in years has to be somewhat of a major achievement. I remember a time back in 2014, Pakistan took on Afghanistan in 5 one-day games, in which the men in green won all 5 games 5-0. Excuse me. But today it was all about the Proteas. Excuse me, and its dominant performances and its dominance in the 50 over format. Now, they did lose 3-0 at home to Pakistan back in December, but the full-strength South African team came out in full force by defeating the Afghans in their first game of the campaign. The 28-year-old opener from Johannesburg, Rickelton, he made 103 of 106 deliveries, which consist of 7 fours and 1 6, led the Proteas charge en route to 315 runs for the loss of 6 wickets from 50 overs. There was also contributions from Captain Temba Bavuma, who scored 58 of 76, and Rossi van der Dussen and Ada Markram's acceleration in the slug overs got them to quick 50s and over the 300-run mark. In reply, Afghanistan, who are playing in the Champions Trophy for the first time in their first ever Champions Trophy game following placing 5th in the last 50-over World Cup in October-November 2023 in India, could only muster 208 runs inside 44 overs, as Rahmat Shah was the only Afghan to show resistance, amassing 90 runs of 92 deliveries. So there you see South Africa 315 for 6 from 50 overs, Ryan Rickelton 103, Temba Bavuma 58, Mohammad Nabi, the pick of the bowlers for the Afghans, 2 wickets for 51 runs from his full quarter of 10 overs, and in reply, Afghanistan 208 in 43.3 overs, Rahmat 90, Rabada 3 for 36, Mulder 2 for 36. Now, there was an incident that occurred in the Afghanistan innings where Rabada, I believe, gave one of the batters a send-off, and he could be in trouble again. And you know how ICC likes to be biased against black players, especially Rabada, who has been banned several times in the past for sledging. Now, this is very serious because when it comes to big 3 players, they're always getting let off compared to the other nations. Now, we saw in the recent tri-series, ICC fined Shine Shah Afridi and 2 other players for aggressive send-off to Bavuma following a huge incident that occurred in the game involving Pakistan and South Africa. However, after that game, the players on both teams, they made up for that big controversy. But it's all part of the game. Aggression is part of all sports, but you need to compose your emotions. You need to have your emotions under a lot of control. So South Africa, they're at the top of the table with 2 points at a positive net run rate of 2.140, and Afghanistan, they played 1, lost 1, negative 2.140 for their net run rate. Remember, the top 2 teams qualify for the semi-finals in a few weeks' time. And tomorrow, England plays Australia at the Gaddafi Stadium in Lahore, which is expected to be an absolute humdinger. But before we get to that, let's look back at yesterday's game involving India and Bangladesh, because the men in blue, the 2013 champions, they had to fight hard to defeat Bangladesh by 5 wickets at the Dubai International Cricket Stadium courtesy new world number one ODI batter Shubman Gill's second successive turn, and a five for Mohammad Shami on return after a long injury layoff from 2023 till early 2024-5. India, who I mentioned in a few videos in the past, they're playing their Champions Trophy matches in the United Arab Emirates due to its government's refusal to send the 2013 champions to Pakistan due to all sorts of security concerns on their side. They had the Tigers reeling at 35 for 5 before Tawheed Hadroy, if I get it right. I don't know if I got the pronunciation right. He made his first ODI century, and he also had a partner in crime in Jaka Ali, who I must say is Bangladesh future star in my opinion, because the way how he batted against West Indies in St. Kitts and St. Vincent last December, it goes to show that Bangladesh have literally moved on from the likes of Shakir Al Hassan, and soon they're moving on from Mahmudullah post-championship. We now, along with Hydroid, who scored his maiden ODI century, Jaka Ali made 68, and the two of them put on 154 for the 6th wicket to lift the total, despite some assistance from sloppy Indian fielding, which included 2 drop catches, including the hat-trick ball of the bowling of Akshar Patel by Rohit Sharma in the first position. I believe it was off Jaka Ali's bat. That drop catch made sure that the Bangladeshis come back into the game, because had Rohit took that catch, the game could have ended one-sided and early. But on the other hand, it was so good to see Tawheed score his maiden 100 despite suffering from severe cramps in the back end of the inning. And Jaka Ali is a sublime player in my book. He's been terrific for the last several months for Bangladesh, and I expect a lot from him in the future. Now, Bangladesh did end up making 228, and Shami on return took 5 wickets for 53 following his exploits in the opening spell, which had the Tigers in all sorts of trouble at 5 for 35. Now, when India chasing 229 on a typical slowish wicket in Dubai, Gill's second successive century held the men in blue right to victory despite a midi slide in the middle order to reach its target with 3.3 overs remaining. Gill had support from opener/captain Rohit Sharma, who made 41, and KL Rahul, who also scored an undefeated 41 not out in the end after he was dropped early on in his innings by Jaka Ali. And that drop catch didn't make any difference because it did not help the Indian team faltered. They cautiously reached its finish line with 3.3 overs remaining, and they go second to the table right behind New Zealand on net run rate. So here's the match summary. Bangladesh 228 from 49.4, Hydroid 100, Jaka 68, Shami 5 for 53. India finished on 231 for 4 in the 47th over. Shubman Gill 101 not out, Rohit Sharma 41, KL Rahul 41, Mohammad Hussain 2 for 38. In the end, India winning the match by 6 wickets with 20 deliveries remaining. So let's look at Group A's table now. New Zealand is at the top of the table with 2 points, followed by India also on 2 points, but the difference between the two is the net run rate. In third position, Bangladesh with 0 points, and dead last host Pakistan on 0 points. Now there are 2 big matches over the weekend. Tomorrow, England versus Australia from the Gaddafi Stadium in Lahore, and on Sunday, India versus Pakistan at the Dubai International Stadium. Now that match, by the way, was originally supposed to take place in Lahore had the Indian team decided to top Pakistan for the Champions Trophy, but in the end, politics played a part of India's matches moving to the UAE. But I'll tell you one thing, guys. In my opinion, the ICC made a huge blunder by having the matches in Dubai when they should have had it in Sharjah, a well-known venue that has hosted so many one-day internationals in the past from the 1980s till the 2020s, and it's a venue that holds the Guinness World Records for most number of one-day internationals, and I find it's a slap in the face for the ICC not to have all of India's games in Sharjah, given the fact that Sharjah is known for a venue that is also, in my opinion, one of the best venues in the Middle East. But the real reason I believe Sharjah didn't get to host games is because you all may have recalled in the 90s into the 2000s, a lot of match fixing took place then, which I believe is another reason why Sharjah didn't get games. And I wasn't surprised by that though. So, but the disappointing thing was Dubai isn't getting any crowds for the Indian games, which I find is a huge surprise. But given the fact how people not taking the Champions Trophy seriously, it's another reason why. So with that said, I wrap up this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember to follow me on all of my social media platforms. Facebook, TJ Ordine Official. Twitter, TJ Ordine. Instagram, TJ Ordine Official. And I'm also on TikTok. So until we meet again, guys, be good, be cool, and stay safe. Thank you again.